Welcome, guys. I'm Mihai, or some people call me Michael, and what we're going to talk about today, um, we're talking about karma. Okay, so this is just my way of explaining what karma means to me, and hopefully, a lot of you will find yourself, or you will understand, or you have a better understanding of what karma means, right? Karma is not a new thing, it's always been around. In other words, so what we're gonna start explaining about what it means and how karma affects us, or you hear people saying, oh, don't worry about it, karma will get the person X, Y, and Z. It doesn't matter, right? So um, the question is, why are we here, right? There's many questions. Why are we here? What's the meaning of life, and so on and so on. So why are we human beings here? Personally, I believe that we are here. This is a school class, right? So we're here to learn how to um, manifest and exercise the power within, which is our real nature. The gods. We are gods. We are like gods, and God made him in his own image, right? Who is he? Who is him, right? It's is man. God made man in his own image, right? So we're not gonna talk about that, guys. We're gonna talk about karma, because you can't really discover who you are unless you change the pathway, right? So unless you change the means. So what does that mean? You have to change the person within. You have to change who you are. Not the identity of who you are. You can't change that. Your real identity is God's, right? You're a God. You're a part of I. So God's name is I am. You're a part of that. I means us, all of us. When he says I am, which is, even though we look like a multitude, we just one. We identify as bodies, as a physical nature, but we're not the physical nature. We're just an expression of our inner thoughts and our inner being, right? That's who we really are. We are gods. Our journey is to head home. What is home? Well, home is heaven. What is heaven? Heaven is within. Within who? Within all of us, right? So how do we discover our home? How do we discover our identity? Now, first of all, whatever we think and believe, it happens to us, right? So that's karma explained in other words. Like uh, Tennyson said, I have it written down here to make sure that I'm not misquoting him. So it says, truth embodied in a tale, enter it at lowly doors, right? So what does that mean? Well, the tale is what I'm telling you right now. This is a tale, right? So what is the truth? The truth is the gospel, right? Gospel means truth, right? Real truth, right? Spread the good gospel, basically. What's the good gospel? Is the truth of our real identity of who we are and what we're meant to be doing here, and where we're meant to be going, right? Uh, Now we're gonna go through a couple of things here. I've got a couple of people that said a lot of things here. Most of them are quite well known, and most of them said things that around the world are being appreciated, but not to the level of um, mind and thoughts and emotions and feelings, right? So we're going to take Isaac Newton's third law of motion now. So the motion says, for every action there's an equal and opportunity, an equal and opposite reaction, right? Now this is amazing. Is the law of motion, he calls it, right? Now the thing is here, what we have to understand, the law of motion is in everything, right? Even in our thoughts. And how amazing it is that there is a law of motion. How do I mean that? Well, if I think something, and if I think it with feeling, it will happen to me or for me. More blessing is it happens for me. It doesn't matter what I think. It could be positive or negative. It still happens. Now, Sir Isaac Newton said, there is an equal and opposite reaction. Now, here's the thing. When it comes to karma, guys, it's not like whenever you think something. So let's say it's like Sir Isaac said, for every action there is an equal and opposite reaction. Now, what we want to understand here, when it comes to karma, there is not an opposite reaction. Opposite means something of a different nature, of a different polarity, right? Because you have magnetism, and you have different poles on the magnet, right? So that would mean something that would reject, right, in terms of karma. Now let me explain even furthermore. The craziest thing here about this is, um, if I think of you as being um, negative, right, and you do not accept that, what do I mean? Because, well, I have two ways of communicating with you. I mean, it's many ways, but I could write it to you. I can speak sign language, or I could just use speech, right? That's the ones that most of us know. Um, Now I could also use my mental, so we telepathically communicate all the time. I know you probably say, "Oh, this is far-fetched," and so and so, right? We all experienced it at some point, but we never really paid any time to it to actually exercise it and to actually go into the details or to actually research if this is real. We also go by, oh, it can't be true, and so on and so. But I recommend you go and check it out. So if I'm thinking of you as being negative, or could even say it to you with speech, right? So I say, oh, you're a very negative person. Now here what happens, you could believe it and accept it, right? Or you could disbelieve it, and because you disbelieve it, your inner self would not accept it, right? Now if you believe it, it can't be opposite, because it's my action. What is my action? I said you're negative. An opposite to negative, what is it? It's positive, right? That's what I believe. Maybe I got it wrong, but hey, check it out. So we're talking about the law of karma here. We're not talking about the law of motion, but even though in even in thought there is motion, right? So it must be motion, right? Otherwise it would not be anything. So everything that was created and is created right now is first in your mind. Example, well, you can go to a suit shop, right? And you want to buy a suit, or you take your measurements to get the suit. What is that suit first being fabricated? Isn't it in your own mind and the person's mind that does the suit? Just think about it, right? So okay, so first of all, if I think of you in any way, right, of course you will have to accept it. But for every action that I do, there's an equal action, a reaction, not opposite, right? So because if I think of you as being negative, then if it was an equal and opposite reaction, then you would think of me as being positive, right? So it would not work. So where's the real law here? Just think about it, right? We're not talking about, we're not trying to take down Sir Isaac law. The thing is, his law is the law of motion, and it refers to the physical side. But we are talking about something that is not quite physical, but it is practical, because everything that happens first, it has to happen within self. Nothing, even when you say something, you think it, right? And if you think it, you construct the words and the meanings the way you say it, right? It's not, I just sit here and my lips don't move, right? I'm not trying to just give you lip service with empty meanings here. I'm trying to put the meaning behind what I'm trying to say, right? Well, if that don't make a lot of sense, what about the next one, the next quote, and is what you think you become, what you feel you attract, and what you imagine you create. That's by Buddha. Well, here's the thing here. What you think with feeling and imagine, you will bring in your life, right? So here he said it in a little bit more spread, because at that time maybe people were not focused on being so um, philosophically inclined, maybe people were busy uh, with agriculture and so on, right? So not many people at that time understood Buddha. That's why he, like every master has a couple of disciples. He doesn't have like the whole planet, right? It takes years to actually reach to many of us. Like Jesus, it took years for him to reach to many of us, right? Now, like he said here, what you think you become, right? So if here, look, if I think of myself as being a good person, that means I become it, right? But if I think it, I have to think it in such a way with feeling. I have to think it with feeling, so I become it, right? So also here the thing is feeling. First you get the thought, because you think about it. You get the thought, then you get the emotions, and if you combine the emotions with the imaginary act that you can produce within your mind, within your mind's eye, right? There isn't a physical eye here. It's just that inside of you, you can create things by simply thinking of them, and you can create either positive or negative. It's your choice, right? I'll recommend you create positive. Now, if we go back to the previous thing, which we said that if I think about a friend or a neighbor in a certain way, then if that person accepts it, he becomes it, right? Now, here's the crazy thing. Um, if on my way to work, in my mind, I'm arguing with my boss, and he has no option but to comply to what my mental attitude is, right? So in a self, I'm sure many of you experience this, and then if you haven't, just try it and you will see. But try and create positive things instead of creating for yourself something negative, and you'll have to only suffer by it. So you think about it, and it happens to you. So if it happens to that person, so we go back to Buddha here. So you think about something. First is the thought, then is the feeling, then is the imagine. It doesn't say that imagine can be only about self. It could be about anyone, right? So you can imagine about anyone in this world, right? I could imagine about my friends. I could imagine about someone that I just met, someone that would come with me and say, oh, I got fired. So I could imagine with feeling. So I think first, what can I do, right? I can see this person gainfully employed, right? So first I thought, then I imagine with feeling, because I am imagining first. I see the person um, telling me that he's employed. Then where's the feeling comes? I'm amazed. I am I'm happy for the person. I'm in a moment of ecstasy, right? So basically, I am really glad that he's doing well, right? So he actually doing well, right? I could also imagine that he is not doing well, right? Now, if the inner person within himself, the inner energy, accepts that, right, then it will manifest it. The person will manifest that, right? Keep in mind here, if you were that person, would you want that negative thing to happen to you? Probably not. So do not um, think anything negative, and anything that you wish for these people, make it positive. Because if that person doesn't accept it, it would have to come onto you. Would you accept being filled with ecstasy, being gainfully employed, having £1 million, or so on and so on? Yes, of course you would. Would you accept having an accident with your car? No, not really, right? So be careful what you imagine. Here's the karma. Now let's explain it in different ways. I could slap someone physically, right? I might not get slapped back straight away, but eventually I would get slapped back. Especially if I'm thinking that, first of all, I did not do a very kind act there, right? First. Second, that person that I slapped, right? He will probably forgive me. Right. Now here's the craziest thing. Forgiveness. Now you slap me and I forgive you. Right. I don't even take any physical action, because me, by forgiving you, the inner self within me and within you, this communicating all the time, because we are communicating all the time. You don't have to be 6 feet away to communicate with anyone mentally. You could be on the other side of the world, right? So I forgive you, right? Now, because my inner person is kind and forgiving, now you will have to learn your own mistake, right? So you will have to. It might not be straight away. It will take a while. It will take a while for you to learn that. Someone else will come and slap you back. It doesn't have to necessarily be a slap. It will be something else. Basically, what it is me, by forgiving you, I am outside of the karma, right? So I'll actually be more worried for self if the other person forgives you, because it will be easier for you if I would slap you back, right? So if I would slap you back, that's just counteraction, right? There's an equal and opposite action. Well, I wouldn't call it opposite, but it's an equal and for every action there's equal reaction, right? But I wouldn't call it opposite. But if it was opposite, I would probably give you a hug, right? And then you will be condemned to meet karma, right? So you will have no other option by getting yourself outside of karma, unless you become a kinder person. So for the moment, maybe I'm a bit outside and then I make no sense, but you will always probably ask yourself, why is bad things always happening to me, or why am I being this, or why am I being that, right? Now first you might have to change your mental attitude towards yourself, because you cannot have a mental attitude, a good positive mental attitude towards someone else, unless you first believe of yourself as being kind, being positive, being wealthy, being healthy, being whatever, right? You cannot give from an empty cup, right? If you're negative, that's all you have. If you're positive, that's beautiful, right? So let's go now to Proverbs. Proverbs 131. It says, so they will eat the fruit of their own way, right? So what does that mean? Well, if I think of myself as being a good kinded person, and I'm giving you that, right? I'm always treating everyone as I would like to be treated, which takes us to Matthew 17:12, and it says, so in everything to do, so in everything, do to others what you would want would have them done unto you, for this sums up the law and the prophets, right? Also, Luke 6:31 says, do to others as you will have them do unto you, right? So here we go. That's karma. That's like ancient karma, right? It's been in the Bible. They forever they've been telling us, right? Because we have the Bible that was formed about 2,000 years ago, but before that the books were still existing, right? So that's the craziest thing now, because you read the Bible and you think that it was written this morning for you, right? Think about that. That's deep, deep, deep stuff there. Because you find yourself within the pages of the Bible, because the Bible was meant to be um, for the person within, right? So is the Bible is addressing the person within, because you cannot become us children of God's without changing self, right? How do you change self? Well, instead of thinking about negative stuff, or instead of gossiping about other people, or gossiping about anything that is actually not really good for you, unless it's positive, right? Unless it's positive, don't do it. And if you think about, if you think of someone as being um, negative, or being bad, or being this, that's just asking for trouble, because when you would meet that person, it will just have to comply to the things that you thought about the person, right? So don't do it, right? Basically, karma is exactly what you are, right? It will only come to you as if you are negative. It will also come to you if you're being positive, but not many people pay attention to that. So you have to be checking yourself all the time, and make sure what you think, what you feel, and what you imagine is beautiful and is of good rapport to everyone else. So if in doubt, if ever you feel low, um, uh, unhappy, and so on, think of good things. Think of good, loving things. Think of yourself as being amazing. Think of other people as being nice. Don't be jealous because your neighbor bought a car. Don't be jealous because your neighbor is foreign. Don't be jealous for X, Y, and Z. There is no reason. If you want something, think that you have it, and imagine that you have it. And if you're true and faithful, and you believe in what you imagined, it will happen to you and for you, because it happens for you, right? So guys, I hope karma has a different meaning now. You have a different understanding of it, and you can start being a bit more positive about yourself, about everyone around you. You look around you, and instead of laughing at people or gossiping about people in a ill manner, try and be positive and help people, right? That's the only way you can move forward, right? I hope that made a lot of sense, guys. It would be lovely to hear your questions, and I will be more than happy to answer your questions. I wish you guys an amazing way of living. I wish you guys happiness. I wish you guys wealth, health, and I wish you get wisdom, and with all that wisdom, get understanding, right? That's in the Bible. Guys, stay happy, stay blessed, and also one more thing before I go. Whatever you do unto others, it will be done unto you, right? Be as watchful as your gate. The gate is within you, and whenever you check yourself, see if you are positive, and if you are faithful, and you believe with faith that what you imagine for yourself and for everyone else is beautiful, right? Stay happy, guys. I wish you well, wish you all the best, and try and get some meditation done. Right? Stay happy. All the best.